watching AmericanOutdoors.net. Hi, and welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about one of our tractors, and this is an LS model compact utility tractor. It's an XG3025 series. This one's a 2016 model. We've put about 85 hours on it. If you know anything about New Holland, LS is involved with their agricultural series as well as the Boomer series with New Holland, and they also manufacture the Montana tractors that you may see around. So when we bought this tractor, we thought the demographics of this was probably the suburban / semi-rural homeowner that might do some mowing on flat ground, maybe some landscaping, some light tilling. We have really been surprised by the muscle behind this little tractor. Now, since we've had it, we've loaded a lot of rock, a lot of dirt. We've done some grading, moving mounds around, cutting some trails and some drives, and we've got a 6-foot finish mower on the back that we use for our mowing. You know, there's an old saying, and that is a small tractor can do just as much as a big tractor. It just takes longer to do. Well, unfortunately, you can go on to Craigslist or sites like eBay right now and find dozens of late model compact utility tractors that are beat up, wore out, and misused. And the problem is that the owners have purchased a tractor and intended to do more for. They've tried to do more with it than it was ever intended or designed for. Now, you know, of course the manufacturers make lemons, but as far as I know, still reading the news and watching TV, they're still designed and they're still manufactured by human beings, so things happen. Anyway, we're going to talk about some of the features on this, and then we'll get down to some of the nuts and bolts. But if you've watched any of our videos before, you'll know that we don't just open box items and go gaga over them. We're going to run the things through the paces, find their breaking points, their weak links, and we'll let you know about all the positives and the negatives. So stay with us and hang on. Let's go. So we're going to start with the bucket here. And if you'll notice, this has the quick disconnect system. This is basically 2 levers. Pull the levers, you can release the button, and then you can use any type of skid steer, pallet forks, hay spear, grapple hooks, whatever will fit on here that's made for this system. It's really nice. It's really easy. Okay, I'm going to step over the bucket. This also has a removable brush guard. Pull these 2 pins, swing this forward. The hood release lever is on the right front, and you can pop this up and look inside here to do whatever maintenance you got to do. Slam it back down, swing it back up, lock your keys, and it's back in place. You'll notice associated with the loader, this has got a really rigid and a surprisingly strong subframe on here, and that probably accounts for the increased capacity for the loader. It's really a nice feature, and it has added some stability. You've got the step here to help you get up. Of course, like most tractors, your clutch pedal is right there. You've got forward, neutral, and reverse up here for your shifting. Of course, your signals, your flashers, your lights are located on the dash. If you look over here, your lever for low, medium, and high is right here. It's nice that this has a medium. This is what I use most of the time. It's really handy. Also, right next to it is your 2-wheel drive to 4-wheel drive lever, which is also really convenient. I like having that there. What I was saying about the seat is it's considered, I would compare it to a bleacher at your high school football game. It doesn't kill you, but it's not the most comfortable in the world. Fuel tank is located behind the seat. I like that. I like the fact that I don't have to reach over the frame for the loader to fill it up with diesel. When I'm running low, I can just come right back here behind the ROPS and fill it up. Really nice tires. These are not filled, and as I was saying before, if you are running a heavy load, you probably already know, either have some ballast on the back with an implement or have these filled. So if we come around to the back, you'll notice this comes with a factory drawbar, and a lot of them don't. It was nice to have this because it does get used a lot. Don't know why they don't always supply them. This also came with the top link, of course, with the 3-point linkage and stabilizers. So, and then if we come around over here, this has the collapsible, the foldable ROPS system on here, the roll bar. That's nice. If you've got a short-headed barn door, you can just flip this down and you can get inside and keep this out of the weather. On this side of the tractor, of course, you've got your loader control. It's got the diagram, so if you don't know what you're doing, at least you look like it. You've got your hand throttle right here. Then you've got your foot throttle down on the floor where most of them are located. You've got your dual brake system, which is locked together. Now, to set the emergency brake on this, you simply set the brake and then you flip down the ratchet handle and it will lock. Now, it's a little more difficult when you're sitting in the tractor than if I'm just standing here. First off, I'm left-handed, so I'm reaching over with my left hand across my body to do it, but it does work. Probably not the best idea the way it's designed, but it works. So also up here on the dash, your PTO is operated by a button, just by a yellow switch right here. It's pretty handy. It's right in front of you, easy to operate, easy, self-explanatory. And then you have your 4-speed transmission lever over here. So once again, I was saying you've got low, medium, and high for your selectors, and then with 4 speeds, you've got the 12-speed shuttle shift, and that's forward and reverse. And then right over your fender flare right here is the PTO lever selector, and of course it's got your float and your adjustable knob right here. Your dashboard has the analog fuel gauge, and it also has the analog temperature gauge. In the center is the digital readout, which will give you your hours and your RPM. So that's pretty nice as well. Access on this tractor is really pretty straightforward and easy. Most of these tractors are. The biggest problem I ever have is just getting their front end loader raised up so I can get a little closer to work on these, which usually means I crack my head on the bucket. Anyway, this is a Mitsubishi motor. It's a S3L2. It's a 3-cylinder. It's a 1.3 liter. You can also find these in some other tractors. I know the New Holland 29 horse, 27 horse, they're the same engine. This one's rated at about 2,500 RPM. And this model, you know, I think you can get this in a marine version too. So it's not just an engine that's basically put in these tractors. They've used them on some other things too. Big key on these engines is, you know, when you look at these, does it look like you can work on it? Even if you're a novice, you know, you need to be able to do some basic things. So, for example, right here, you know, we've got the fuel filter, oil filters right in front here, the engine block heater, pretty straightforward. You know, all this stuff right here is really pretty easy to access and get to. Batteries up in front. Come around to the other side, you can see your alternator. So if you need to change a belt, you know, it's right there. It's pretty simple. Starter. There's not a whole lot to these engines. You know, with a diesel motor, there's no such thing as a tune-up. But, you know, this engine will last you probably your lifetime if you take care of it. If you don't, it won't. Okay, so let's wrap up this video with a couple quick points. First, the negative. I'm not going to beat the dead horse to death again, called the seat. We've already covered that. We also talked about the parking brake system and how clunky it is. Reminds me of some older tractors that I used to piddle with, but it's not a deal breaker either. There is some low-speed drivetrain noise in this tractor, more so than I hear from other models. I'm not concerned with it. I don't believe it's a mechanical issue. I just think it's probably more of a price point matter. As far as the positives, this is a very reliable piece of equipment. We've had 0 breakdowns. There's been no adjustments, nothing's come loose or fallen off in the time that we've had this thing. It's also, if you're a novice to tractors, it's very easy to work on. Everything that's external to the engine is right out in front and easy to get to. The ergonomics on the controls are also well laid out, with the exception of the parking brake system. It's all in my field of view. It's easy to get to. A lot of power for the specs that come with this engine. We were really surprised at the amount of effort it took to complete a lot of the jobs that we were doing. Very happy with that. Now, I'm not dropping 70-foot oak trees with it, and I'm not digging out a pond. I'm not going to break up a concrete driveway and haul off the rock with it. That's not what it's intended or its purpose. But you know, tractor manufacturers, their reputation relies on longevity and reliability, and you know, as opposed to cars. I can buy a Chevy truck and it'll be junk in 2 years. I may buy another Chevy truck. Well, that might have to do more with me, but the point I'm trying to make is, as a homesteader or a contractor or a farmer, you can't afford to have your tractor in your shop or at their dealership down for repairs week in and week out. You're just not going to buy that product anymore. Now, it is true that most of the major manufacturers today, their tractors are pretty similar. Some of them even interchange parts and designs. And so when it comes to making a purchase like this, for many, it comes down to options or creature comforts, the price, and the color. So a lot of things are just preference. A long time ago, I was camping, and a guy told me, he said, buy your second camper first. Well, it also applies to tractors. Buy your second tractor first. Too many homeowners, too many tractor buyers will go out and they'll buy a piece of equipment. They'll spend a bunch of money. 6 months later, they realize that the tractor isn't up to what they need it to do. And then you end up with junk, or you're stuck with something that you've got all kinds of money in. Do your homework. The review that you're watching here on this LS isn't the only and all-inclusive source of information. You can go online, you can Google this model, there's forums out there, there's reviews that are already posted, so you can get all the information you need to make a qualified and educated decision when it comes to buying a tractor like this, and whether it suits your property, your job, or your tastes. Anyway, thanks for sticking it out and watching this video with us, and I hope you're enjoying AmericanOutdoors.net. Check out our website and our Facebook page and our Twitter. Folks, thanks a lot, and we'll see you soon.